Welcome to USA War History. I'm Sunny, and here we uncover the darkest, deadliest, and most shocking wars in American history. Imagine a country so divided that brother killed brother, cities burned, families vanished, and the ground itself turned red with blood. This was not a war against a foreign enemy. This was America, fighting itself. And for 4 terrifying years, the United States became a nightmare. Smoke covered the skies. Entire towns were destroyed overnight. Mothers waited for sons who would never return. Fields became graveyards, and rivers carried the bodies of the dead. By the time it ended, more Americans had died than in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and Korea combined. This was the American Civil War, the war that changed the United States forever. A country ready to explode. Before the war, America looked powerful from the outside, but inside, it was breaking apart. The northern states were becoming industrial giants, factories were growing, railroads expanded across cities, immigrants arrived by the millions. The North believed America's future was industry, progress, and freedom. But the South depended on something else: slavery. Millions of enslaved African Americans were forced to work on massive plantations. Cotton made Southern elites extremely rich, and many Southern politicians believed slavery was necessary for survival. The country was becoming two different nations, living under one flag, and neither side trusted the other anymore. The man who shook America. Then came a man who terrified the South: Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln did not initially promise to abolish slavery everywhere, but Southern leaders feared something worse. They feared change. They feared losing power. And when Lincoln won the presidential election in 1860, panic exploded across the South. State after state announced secession. They declared they were leaving the United States forever. Soon, America split in two: the Union and the Confederacy. Neighbors became enemies, friends became soldiers, and the countdown to hell had begun. The first shots of war. April 12, 1861, South Carolina. At dawn, Confederate cannons opened fire on a Union fort called Battle of Fort Sumter. The explosions shook the harbor, and in that moment, America officially entered civil war. Young men rushed to enlist. Most believed the war would end in weeks. They were horribly wrong, because nobody understood what modern war was about to become. The killing machine. The Civil War became one of the deadliest conflicts in human history, not because of old weapons, but because of new ones: rifled muskets, deadlier artillery, more accurate bullets. But generals still used outdated battlefield tactics. Soldiers marched in straight lines directly into gunfire. It became slaughter. At battles like Battle of Antietam, thousands died in a single day. Bodies covered fields for miles. Some soldiers drowned in mud mixed with blood. Others screamed for help for hours while nobody could reach them. And then came the most horrifying battle of all: Battle of Gettysburg. 3 days of absolute hell. Over 50,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or missing. Entire forests were destroyed by bullets and cannon fire. The smell of death covered the town for weeks. Gettysburg became the symbol of America tearing itself apart. The nightmare. No soldier escaped. But the battlefield wasn't the only killer. Disease spread everywhere: dirty water, rotting wounds, starvation, infection. More soldiers died from sickness than bullets. Doctors amputated limbs without anesthesia. Piles of arms and legs stacked outside medical tents. Teenage boys watched friends die beside them every night. Many soldiers returned home broken forever, not physically, mentally, terrified by memories they could never escape. Today, we call it trauma. Back then, people simply called it madness. Lincoln's most dangerous decision. As the war continued, Lincoln realized something terrifying. The Union might actually lose. So he made one of the boldest decisions in American history. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. The war was no longer only about preserving the Union. Now, it became a war against slavery itself. The announcement changed everything. Thousands of formerly enslaved African Americans joined the Union Army, and the Confederacy began losing international support. But the violence only became worse, because now both sides believed they were fighting for the future of humanity itself. Total war. Near the end of the conflict, Union General William Tecumseh Sherman unleashed something America had never seen before: total war. His armies marched through the South, burning railroads, destroying farms, crushing cities, and leaving devastation everywhere. The famous March to the Sea became pure psychological warfare.